So there's a lot of credit cards in the market, but to say that one specific card deserves a spot, not in your wallet, not in mine, but every single person's wallet is a pretty bold claim. And under some conditions, it could make sense. For example, if you look at the Amex Platinum, right, it has so many credits for a $695 annual fee. But if you're getting more value than that, it could be like, hey, this is a no brainer. But is that a case for each and every single person? I don't think so. On the other hand, let's say you have a hotel specific card where you're getting a free anniversary night each and every year. And that's great. But if you just don't stay at hotels, if you travel, let's say, through Airbnb, then that case doesn't make sense either. Let's say we have a specific airline card where you have free check bag each and every time you travel. Sounds great. Same case. What if you're a road trip type of person and you're like, okay, not everyone needs this type of card where, yeah, you may get more value than the annual fee that you're paying, but is it for everyone? On the same note, let's say you have a card with so many credits and such a high annual fee. So just like the Amex Platinum, we have the Capital One Venture X. We also have the Chase Sapphire Reserve. But again, is it for everyone? This is the question. And I actually have a specific credit card that I want to share with confidence that I can say deserves a spot in each and every person's wallet, which is pretty crazy. So with that, let's get into it. So around a year ago, I applied and got approved for a credit card, which I would have never ever thought in my life to have applied for. And point being, similar to how store cards, where you shop with a certain merchant, so let's say we're at Sephora or Macy's or TJ Maxx, there are certain credit cards where when you spend at those retailers and it's issued through them, basically you're getting, let's just say, an amount on your first purchase, and then on a rolling basis, you're getting whatever that level of cashback is because you're spending with them specifically. To me, these are like retail merchants where you can kind of shop in store or shop online. But to get a specific grocery store credit card would have not been a thought that would have, passed my thought like ever. Period. So this card is the Kroger Rewards World Elite MasterCard. And Kroger is a grocery store similar to Safeway, Albertsons, Sprouts, Publix. If hopefully, that's enough context to know what this is. But this credit card is not specific to only spending at Kroger. You can spend elsewhere. This card's issued through US Bank, and I always hear their approvals are kind of tough, similar to Capital One. And for me, this is the only US Bank card that I have / got approved for in general. So the headline of this card is insane, and it's so simple, but to me, it's insane. So what it is you get 5% back, not at Kroger only, but on mobile wallet purchases, whether it's Apple Pay, Google Pay, wherever you're spending in general. As long as it's a mobile wallet transaction in this fashion, you're going to get 5% back each and every year up to a certain limit, and it's going to be $3,000, which if you do that math, it's $150 back to you. But the point is, it's, branded as a store card, but literally it works for everyone. What's even more interesting here is that in addition to that 5% up to 3K cap on those general, I'll just call them Apple Pay, Google Pay transactions, you also have 5% when you're using Kroger Pay, specifically at Kroger. And so what that means is with the same cap of 3,000, we're looking at $150 back. Let's say if you, just for an example, shop only at Kroger for whatever reason. The understanding is that Apple Pay and Google Pay is tracked separately. So if you actually shop at Kroger, then you can get that up to that 3K in spend per year. But you also have, let's just say you go to the Mac store or whatever, at the Apple store and buy a Mac, then you can get on that single transaction like all of that cash back right there and then, versus it being, let's say, split up where 3,000 divided by 12 months is 250 each and every month, and doing all that type of math. So in this scenario, it's essentially saying that, hey, you could get 5% up to 6K in spend each and every year on groceries, just depending on how you structure everything. At the current time of recording, there's a new card member offer, which is essentially a $100 statement credit after $500 in minimum spend in the first 90 days. Outside of the 5% we're getting on those mobile wallet purchases / Kroger Pay, you also get 2% cash back when you're shopping in-store without Kroger Pay. So let's just say you have the physical card, you're swiping, that's how that works, and then 1% everywhere else. This card has no annual fee, and so from a benefits perspective, I wouldn't expect much. If the following is applicable to you, then that's great, where basically there's a membership which costs either $59 a year or $99 a year to something known as Boost. If you know about Walmart Plus, it's kind of like a membership in that vein, where essentially with Walmart Plus, if you have a certain minimum order, let's just say it's $35, you get free delivery. But in addition to that, you have other perks. For example, if you go to like Sam's Club, then you can get gas even if you don't have a Sam's Club membership at that Sam's Club pricing. Or for example, you get like Paramount Plus for free. So similar in this situation with Boost, there's two options. The $59 one is basically going to get you like next day delivery on groceries if you meet that minimum order threshold. With 99 bucks, you'll get the same day delivery access. And if you, again, with 59 bucks, you'll get 6 months streaming trial to one of the three for Disney or Hulu or ESPN. But if you pay 99 bucks a year, then you get, again, the choice of one of them. But in both cases, they both come with advertisements in terms of that plan. Coming back to the earner really quick, I will say that one of the weird situations is that if you know Kroger, they sometimes, not all of them, have a fuel center, and there's like a gas station on their premise. And spending at those fuel centers, even though it feels like it's a part of Kroger, those purchases do not earn any reward points. So on that same note, and come to more limitations of this card, although yeah, it has a no annual fee and it has an amazing just feature of this 5% everywhere. The point being, it being issued through US Bank, if you know how they work, basically there's concepts when you're redeeming rewards. How they work is as follows. There's a concept known as real-time rewards where you can basically redeem some of the rewards for transactions in real time. And so with Kroger, you can do this, but the threshold for the redemption is a minimum of 1,000 points, which will basically get you 10 bucks of purchase value. In the same fashion, you can also purchase gift cards with these reward points, but instead of that $10 minimum or like 1,000 points, it's going to be 2,500 points for a $25 minimum redemption. And the kicker to all this is that, a lot of reward points, they just never expire as long as you have some activity or something that you're doing to just kind of keep your account active or otherwise. But man, with this card, the rewards expire after 36 months. So that's long enough, I would say, in most cases. But, just the fact that it expires is kind of like, it's one of those. What's going on? If you're seeing this, I'd love to meet you. There's a link in the description below. It's absolutely free. Just literally like 15-minute intro, meet and greet type of deal. And if there's any way I can help you in like the short term, long term in your life, happy to discuss that. With that, hopefully talk to you soon. I got to say, my experience with this card is very, very straightforward. It's one of those where it's like, all right, hey, I'm going to use this main perk. And outside of that, I'm not really, kind of caring. And again, it comes down to other cards that you may have in your kind of portfolio or your, product mix. For example, if you have like the Citi Custom Cash, then you get 5% up to $500 in spend on a multitude of categories. And those categories, you can kind of flip them each and every month without you doing anything. So for example, if I'm spending like 5% on home improvement stores and then 5% on gas, on different months, then up to that 500, I'm getting those thank you points that I would earn with my Citi Custom Cash. And in the same vein, you have your Discover It's or your Freedom Flexes by Discover and Chase, where here they have like rotating categories. So 5%, let's say in a grocery category with the Chase Freedom Flex, that's for a whole quarter, up to 1,500 bucks in spend whenever that quarter is assigned. And so for me personally, I may value, those points by Chase more than, let's say, the cashback offered in this fashion through US Bank or through the Kroger card in general. So if I didn't have this card right now and I was thinking of, hey, maybe I should apply for it, what will go through my head is, okay, well, I can get this card whenever I want. The bonus is cool, 100 bucks after 500 and spend, but, it's not going to make me like filthy rich. It's just a nice, let's say cherry on top for our purposes. In addition to that, if I'm going for a mortgage or buying a car or a lease or basically running my credit, then, why do that if I'm going to affect, let's say, interest rates that I'm approved for a loan when, this type of situation, this product is not something that is so urgent to have today. Simply put, I would say that once you have it, you basically have that reward or, opportunity to keep earning this year over year over year until they one fine day, maybe change it. In addition to that, given my situation that I don't have any other US Bank credit cards, what I would say is that at least, okay, hey, I have history with US Bank because of, this card that I have, so they can see like, okay, hey, how much am I spending? Or, is this guy, a good guy basically paying his bill on time and, in full and all those things. Point being, it's me being teed up for finally a US Bank approval for any of their other cards on their portfolio because there's some stellar options. But I do think, honestly, that this card can be in everyone's wallet and it literally doesn't hurt them because it has no annual fee and essentially only upside. So that, thanks for coming to the end. If you're interested in the reasoning behind why I have 2 but not 3 Citi Custom Caches, I'll leave that video over here. With that, see you in the next one. Peace.